In my last video, I talked about emotional triggers and how we can manage them. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about a common phenomenon that almost everyone has experienced at some point in their lives, letting our emotions take over during discussions or arguments. We'll explore why this happens and what we can do to manage our emotions in these situations. But before we dive into that, let me share a personal experience where my emotions took over during a discussion. So, some time ago, I helped a friend to source for a landed property, and before payment was going to be made, I actually insisted he involves his lawyer to help him run some background checks to be sure that the land was safe and also a good buy. But guys, you won't even believe what happened. The so-called lawyer that they brought into the transaction was now plotting behind me to be sidelined from the transaction, so I won't even get or be paid what is due me. When I realized what was happening and how my friend was now sneaking behind me with the lawyer, I called my friend and his so-called lawyer to have a roundtable discussion. And in the middle of the discussion, I realized I was really getting angry. I exploded during a discussion. What really got to me was the time, the effort, and resources that I put into searching and trying to secure something good for him. But again, in the middle of the discussion, I realized I was really getting dead and I was going to lose it. Trust me, I took a deep breath and I walked away from the office before doing something I will probably regret later on. So let's explore how and why we let our emotions take over during discussions or arguments. The role of emotions in decision making. Have you ever made a decision purely based on your emotions? Emotions play a critical role in our decision making process. They can sometimes override our rational thinking, leading us to make choices that we may even regret later. For example, let's say you're discussing a business proposal with your partner and they point out a flaw in your plan. You may feel embarrassed or even defensive, causing you to ignore their feedback and push forward with your idea. However, if you had taken a step back and considered their perspective, you may have even, been able to address the situation or issue and improve your proposal. Emotions can cloud our judgment and prevent us from making well-informed decisions. The evolutionary purpose of emotions. Our emotions have evolved over millions of years to help our ancestors survive in dangerous situations. For example, if a predator was approaching, our ancestors needed to quickly assess the situation and make a split-second decision to fight or flee. In these situations, emotions like fear and anger can be helpful because they motivate us to take action. However, in our modern day situations, such as arguments or discussions, these same emotional responses can be triggered even though they are not necessary for our survival. The influence of culture and social norms. Culture and social norms can also influence how we express our emotions during discussions or arguments. For example, in some cultures, it's considered inappropriate to show anger or frustration, while in others, it is seen as a sign of strength. Similarly, some social groups may encourage emotional expression, while others may view it as a weakness. These cultural and social norms can actually shape our emotional responses and affect how we communicate during discussions or arguments. The impact of personal experiences and trauma. Our personal experiences and past traumas can also impact our emotional responses during discussions or arguments. For example, if you've experienced a traumatic event before, you may be more likely to have a stronger emotional response in a certain situation. Similarly, if you grew up in a household where arguments were frequent and intense, you may have learned to respond emotionally rather than logically. Recognizing how our past experiences can affect our emotional responses can actually help us better manage our emotions during discussions or arguments. Strategies for managing emotions and arguments. Now that we've discussed why our emotions can take over during discussions or arguments, let's talk about some strategies we can actually use to manage them. One helpful technique is taking a break. If you're feeling overwhelmed or emotional, take a step back and allowing yourself time to cool down can actually help you approach the situation with a clearer head. Another technique is practicing deep breathing. Taking a few deep breaths can help slow down your heart rate and reduce feelings of stress or anxiety. Finally, reframing the discussion can also be helpful. Instead of seeing the discussion as a conflict, try to approach it as an opportunity to learn and grow. So, guys, we have covered a lot in this video right now, but the key takeaway is that our emotions can actually sometimes take over during discussions or arguments, leading us to make decisions based on our emotions rather. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And also do not forget to turn on the notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my videos.